Hi everyone, today's video is going to be all about my lambskin leather bags. This is probably one of my most requested videos because I feel like we all fall in love with lambskin leather bags, but we're also, can I say, a little scared of them as well because lambskin tends to show wear and tear much sooner than other leathers. So considering the prices of luxury designer handbags these days, we want our bags looking pristine for as long as possible. So I thought I'll give you guys a little update on how the bags are wearing because I've had most of my bags for something like a year, more than a year. I think there's only one bag that I've had for less than that, but other than that, I feel like I have a pretty good understanding on what to expect in terms of wear and tear of my lambskin leather bags. We're going to take a look at them up close and see if there are any scuffs, any corner wear, discoloration, indentations, loss of shape, and all of that. So let's start. Okay, so the first bag we're going to look at is my Chanel Trendy CC in the small size. This bag is something like 2 or maybe even 2.5 years old, and it looks absolutely incredible. Let's see if we can find any scuffs. I believe that there was one close to the plate, but it's barely noticeable. I truly wasn't able to find any deeper, more significant scuffs, which is impressive. When we look at the bottom of the bag, there are no scuffs, however, you can see that the leather has slightly changed its shape. And there's also a slight shape loss in the corners of the bag. Looking at the back of the bag, I am trying really hard to find something wrong with the bag, but I am honestly not seeing any scuffs or marks. I can't find anything wrong with it really. There is some sort of a line that has formed close to the top of the bag, but that has occurred basically because of opening and closing the bag. Now let's take a look at the inside of the bag, and here we can immediately notice some scuffs and marks which have most likely occurred because of my nails from when I open and close the bag. So this can be expected because you will be opening and closing the bag frequently. Other than that, there's also a line that has formed from opening and closing the bag, but honestly, I'm not really bothered by these marks because they're on the inside of the bag. Since we're looking at the bag up close, let's also take a better look at the hardware. There are some minor hairline scratches, but that is to be expected. Other than that, there's no discoloration, it is still shiny and golden. As regards to the plate at the top of the bag, it's pretty much the same. I know that a lot of people who consider this bag are concerned about it, but I don't have any aggressive marks on it. Only hairline scratches, which you can actually only see in a certain light. Otherwise, they're impossible to notice. So overall, the bag still looks really good, and I'm happy with the quality. Next up is my white lambskin Chanel Classic Flap in size small. I have had this bag for a year now and I have used it a lot. Definitely more than the Trendy CC. I don't think I've scuffed it anywhere. However, the leather is slightly dented in the corners of the bag. When we look at the top of the bag, we can see slight creasing from opening and closing the bag. Now let's look at the bottom of the bag, and it also looks really good except for this one scratch, which actually I don't think it's a scratch, it could be just a mark, and I may be able to buff it out. The back of the bag also looks really good. I can't find any scuffs or marks, which I'm really happy about. The only thing I see is the crease from opening and closing the bag, which is pretty much inevitable. The sides are also nice and clean. Let's have a closer look at the corners of the bag and overall they look really nice. I'm not seeing any scuffs or marks. The only thing I noticed is that the leather has slightly changed its shape, but overall the corners still look really good. I am also really happy with the condition of the hardware. There hasn't been any discoloration and the chain looks really great as well. Now let's open the bag, and as you can see on the first flap we have marks from the zipper as well as from the chain. I could try to buff them out, but I don't really see the point of it because they would come back. When we further open the bag to see the second flap, it is absolutely perfect except for this one teeny tiny little dot over here. But other than that, the interior looks really good. And like I said before, it is interior and it really doesn't bother me that much. And finally, the last thing I want to mention is the color of the bag, because often people are scared of white bags because they are going to turn yellow. Of course, it's only been a year, but for now, the bag is still perfectly white. So for now, I am really happy with it. Next up, I wanted to give a little update on my Chanel mini rectangular flap with the top handle in this beautiful pastel yellow color. This bag has a stain over here, and if you're already familiar with my channel, you may remember the video I did on how I got it, but long story short, I got a drop of water and I tried to treat it with a leather conditioner, and I clearly made things even worse. Now it's been a few months and I wanted to show you how the stain looks now. I know that a lot of you told me to just keep using the bag, but unfortunately for me it feels like wearing a t-shirt with a stain. So I can't really fully enjoy the bag while the stain is still so visible. So I decided that it would be probably the best if I fully repair the bag, and I did an extensive research based on all of your suggestions and recommendations from that video. So thank you so much to every single person who commented and shared their experiences. It means a lot to me because I had never been in a situation like that before. So thank you. And I found a company that I feel like I can trust with repairing this bag, but unfortunately they're located in the US and I am located in Europe. So I decided that the next time I go to the US, I'll just take this bag with me, have a fun trip and repair this bag at the same time. There's just one more important thing that I wanted to mention. I saw another video on YouTube from a woman who has a significantly bigger handbag collection than mine, and in her video she mentioned that her pastel yellow Chanel mini flap also has a water stain and that it had never happened to her other minis. So if you like this particular bag style, definitely go for a darker color or just avoid pastel yellow bags from Chanel in general. Next up is my Bottega Veneta mini Jody. I've had this bag for something like 2 years now, and I can't find any scuffs or marks on the bag. It looks like there's some creasing over here, but you can't really see it when the bag is full. Now let's take a look at the seam at the bottom of the bag, and it looks pretty much perfect. I literally can't find a single flaw. The leather looks shiny and feels very soft and luxurious. Overall, I am very happy with the quality of the bag, and I would really love to get a bigger, more practical size. Next up, I have another bag by Bottega Veneta, and this is the double knot bag, but I personally love calling it my noodle bag. I was so scared to buy this bag because I wasn't sure if it would be easy to match, but if you follow me on Instagram, you can see, or you have already seen, that I've worn this bag a lot. I should have included it in my most used bags of 2022 video. I don't remember if I did, but if I didn't, I definitely should have. As regards to the wear and tear, there is nothing that I can report yet. The bag still looks brand new, which is good because it's barely 6 months old, but I still wanted to include it in this video because I've really enjoyed using it a lot, and it's a bag that I'm very excited to style for the upcoming spring-summer seasons. We have reached the last lambskin bag in my handbag collection, which is my white medium Fendi Baguette. This bag is my treasure. It made me fall in love with Fendi again. It's the perfect everyday bag for my lifestyle, and I've used it hundreds and hundreds of times, which you'll probably be able to tell after we take a closer look at the bag. So, I don't believe that the bag has any scuffs or marks, but there's definitely some corner wear. Here we can see some scuffs, and there are also a few very small yellow spots. I have considered taking the bag to Fendi, but honestly, the wear is still so insignificant that I don't think it would be worth it, at least for now. However, if you have had any experience with repairing your accessories at Fendi, please let me know in the comment section below because I'm curious about how much time it would take to repair it. I think that even with the corner wear, the bag still looks very good. It still looks white. It hasn't changed color, which I'm very happy with because it is more than 3 years old. We can also see some wear and tear on the sides of the bag. I don't use any bag organizers because I love to wear it slouchy, like it's supposed to be worn, and that has resulted in these creases. But they are not noticeable when the bag is full, which is why they don't really bother me. When we take a look at the hardware, the buckle looks great. There are some minor scuffs in the middle over here, but it still looks nice and golden. The rest of the hardware also looks good. There are some minor marks here and there, but nothing significant, and once again everything is nice and golden. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the inside of the bag, and I noticed that there's a little bit of yellow on the edge of the flap, but it's very hard to notice. The flap over here is absolutely perfect. There are no scuffs, no marks. The only thing that I can see is that the debossed FFs have left like a shadow on the leather, and that actually looks kind of cool. And then of course we also have some minor creasing from opening and closing the bag. The bag is fabric lined, which I love, so there are no flaws to report over here. And overall, I have to say that the leather looks incredible, especially considering how much I've used it. And of course, let's not forget that this is a white lambskin bag, so I believe that it has held up beautifully, and it's an absolutely amazing bag. Okay guys, so that's it for my video today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found it useful. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I do love talking about fashion. So let's stay in touch, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys, stay safe.